Cheers on the guns of the toy station. Get ready! Airborne from skies of blue. Stand in the door. We're coming. Make your jumps and take your... Today is Sunday, March 15th, 2020. This morning when I got to church, I found a crowd much lighter than normal. And then the pastor announced that services for the next couple of weeks will be online to minimize our contact with each other until the coronavirus passes, which is anticipated to take a couple of weeks. He said he was doing that out of an abundance of precaution and love to allow time. However, in that, I did sense people were fearful. And that's what I wanted to make this video for, was to address that fear. We've had a last week that was pretty stressful, between the coronavirus making its way finally into Idaho and then the volatility in our stock market, which has yet to recover. Just those two things alone this last week are very stressful into what's going to happen. Schools have been postponed for a couple of weeks, church services now for a couple of weeks. I anticipate some other businesses may follow suit. All of this is going to cause some additional stress, some isolation. It also causes us to do some things we would not normally do. For example, this week, the grocery stores. Many people were in the grocery stores this week, stocking up on food and water and other supplies. And that was not on most people's to-do list to do this week, that they felt compelled to do based off of the stresses, based off of the fears, whether it was the coronavirus or whether it's the stock market or a combination thereof. Fear comes from the lack of control, and in those things, we felt we didn't have it. During my campaign, you've heard me stress that experience counts. My experience has taken me to the top levels of incident command for major events just like this. For major hurricanes, F5 tornadoes, I've seen runs on the grocery stores where the stores were wiped out. The difference being, in those events, the natural disasters, the stores don't recover until resources are brought in from the outside. And while we had runs on our grocery stores this week, they are not wiped out. The trucks are still moving. We talked to a grocery store manager last night that said the trucks are lined up at the back door. The delay is just moving it from the truck to the shelves after the shelves get hit. So we still have the resources that we need. With the coming weeks, we're going to see some isolation. We're going to see some other cancellations. But the fear comes from the first several days of an event. And I think we've been there already. So what I want to stress is, as we come into this next week, is to take a deep breath. Things are going to get better. My experience also says that after the first few days, things begin to normalize and we get through it. The same thing we can do here. What brings a calmness is having control. And what we have control over is ourselves and taking care of each other. So if you encounter somebody on the roadways that cuts you off or whatever, maybe they are more tied to the stock market than you are, or they're going to lose their job because of that or whatever. Give them grace. Take this time, if your kids are home from school, to reconnect with them. If your neighbors are home, reconnect with them, or get to know your neighbors if you do not know them, or connect with your family. Stay plugged in to your networks, your family, your neighbors. Step away from the news. Stay informed, but do not get addicted to the news that will stoke the fear. Stay informed and then plug into your networks. Where we get our control is bearing one another's burdens. That will keep us strong, watching out for one another. While some of us did or could stock up, Others in our community could not. They do not have the resources to do that, and they might have found the shelf bare this week when they went to get their weekly groceries. So be cognizant of your surroundings and those that have and those that need. That is one of the things I love about the people of North Idaho, and specifically Kootenai County, is we do care for each other. So let's do that as we go into these next few days and the next couple of weeks. Stay strong, watch out for one another, and bear one another's burdens. And my experience says things will normalize and the stress will minimize. And take comfort in that. God bless.